Welcome to the Midgard Press. I'm Jay. So, we're back again for another part of magic as we are going over the school of elementalism within Dragonbane. So again, there's three schools of magic, technically four if you count the general magic, but we've got animism, elementalism, and then we have mentalism. And we'll be covering mentalism in the next episode, but this episode we have elementalism. So let's get into it. At the very bottom of page 65, magic tricks. So you got heat and chill. The area within 10 meters of you becomes pleasantly warm or cold. The effect protects you against cold for one shift. Ignite. You light or extinguish a candle, torch, or lantern within 10 meters. Puff of smoke. An impressive puff of smoke erupts in front of you, very popular for dramatic entrances, and can give you a boon to sneaking in certain situations as determined by the GM. Just those three right there, I think I like elementalism because I've played a fair share of, or I've run a fair share of the adventures within the adventures book, and those three would be very handy in certain situations. Just saying. All right, so we're already going to get into the actual spells themselves. So, looks like we've got some rank 1 spells. We've got Fireball. Yes, a lot of you TTRPG players, D&D, Pathfinder, so on and so forth, Fireball is a very popular spell. Let's read into it. So rank 1 prereq elementalism. Requirement, word/gesture. Casting time is an action. Range is 20 meters. Duration is instantaneous. So the spell sends a fireball from your hands or focus as a target. The fireball can be dodged or parried at a range attack. The fireball inflicts 2d6 damage on a hit and sets fire to flammable objects. Each power level beyond the first increases the damage by a d6 and creates another fireball that hits another target within range. Yeah, buddy. That's pretty dope. So you can do d6 or 2d6 damage to one thing, and then if you cast it at rank 2, you can send a d6 of damage somewhere else. If you cast it up to 3, you can send another d6 somewhere else. That's pretty dope. Frost. Rank 1, prereq, elementalism. Requirement, word, gesture. Casting time is an action. Range is 4 meters, so it's a sphere. Duration is stretch. So you drastically lower the temperature around you. All natural fires in the area or of effect are extinguished, and all living creatures lose d6 HP and d6 willpower when the spell is cast and become cold as per the rules on page 54. They cannot heal HP or willpower until they get warm. Humanoids, not monsters, so typically your NPCs or player characters for sure, in the area of effect when the spell is cast are frozen in place and can neither move nor perform actions, not even reactions. On each turn, a frozen victim can make a strength roll, not an action, to break free. Each additional power level increases the range by 4 meters. So, okay. Any water in the area of effect immediately freezes in a river that creates an ice flow that you can walk or use as a raft. Oh, that's pretty cool. Dang, that's pretty cool. Gust of wind. Rank 1, requirement, elementalism, prereq, elementalism, requirement, word, gesture. Casting time is an action. Range is 10 meters. It's a cone, so like that. Duration is instant. The spell summons a great gust of wind. All untethered objects and creatures up to human size in the area of effect are pushed 2d4 meter away from you and suffer the same amount of bludgeoning damage. Against a swarm, the spell deals 2d6 damage, so it goes up the next die level. Each additional power level increases the number of dice by 1. The spell has no effect on monsters that are large or huge. Allergies are killing me. Ooh. Pillar. It's a rank 1. Prereq is elementalism. Requirement is a word gesture. Casting time is an action. Range is 10 meters. So the duration is a shift. The spell raises a pillar 3 meters high and 1 meter wide from the ground or a stone floor. If someone is standing in that spot, the victim must make a acrobatics roll, not an action, to avoid falling off the pillar. If the pillar is created under a low ceiling and the roll fails, the victim takes 2d6 bludgeoning damage instead. For each additional power level, the height of the pillar increases by 3 meters, which can mean fall damage to anyone who falls off. I actually had a player use pillar to crush a giant spider. That was awesome. Shatter. Rank 1. Prereq. Elementalism. Requirement. Word. Casting time. Action. Range. Touch. Duration. Instant. By breaking the invisible bond that holds physical matter together, you can shatter physical objects. With the spell, you inflict 2d10 damage on inanimate and non-magical item. Any armor rating has no effect. Each power level beyond the first increases the damage by a d10. So you just get another dice to roll, basically. Man, I tell you what, so far, Elementalism is kind of kicking some ass. Just saying. Fire Blast, rank 2. Prereq is Fireball. Requirement is a word gesture. Casting time is an action. Range is 30 meters, so it's gone up 10 meters. So this is 30, and that's 20. So it's gone up 10 meters. So that's pretty cool. The spell sends a large fire blast from your hand or focus at the target. The fire blast can be dodged or parried as a ranged attack. The fire blast inflicts 2d8 damage on a hit and sets fire to flammable objects. Each power level beyond the first increases the damage by d8 or creates another blast that hits another target within range. Cool. Stone Shield, rank 2, prereq pillar, requirement, jester, ingredient is pebbles. Casting time is a reaction, range is personal, duration is instant. You instantly summon a shield of stone that decreases the damage of an incoming attack by 2d6. Each additional power level decreases the damage by another d6. You can cast a spell, after the roll to hit, but before rolling damage. The spell can be combined with armor. So it's kind of like just like a dodge or a parry where, you know, they can roll to hit you and then you cast the spell and then, so it has to be before the damage. Okay, cool. Stone Wall, rank 2, prereq pillar, requirement word jester, casting time is an action, range 10 meters, duration is a shift. The spell raises a wall from the ground to a stone or a stone floor, 1 meter thick, 2 meters high, and 3 meters wide. Up, over, Oh, okay, cool. So it's completely three-dimensional. Cool. Each additional power level creates another section of the same size. If someone is standing in that spot, the victim must make an acrobatics roll, not an action, to avoid falling off. If the wall is created under a low ceiling and the roll fails, the victim takes 2d6 bludgeoning damage instead. Tidal wave. Rank 2, prereq is frost. Requirement, word, gesture, ingredient is a water source. Casting time is an action. Range is 20 meters as a cone, and the duration is instant. You summon a great wave from a water source within range. The area of effect starts at a source, not at yourself. All untethered. Good God, I can't read right now. Objects and creatures in the area of effect are pushed 2d6 meters away from the water source and suffer the same amount of bludgeoning damage. Each additional power level increases the number of dice by 1. I'm gonna go blow my nose. I'll be right back. All right, so Whirlwind, rank 2, prereq is Gust of Wind. Requirement is Word Gesture. Casting time is an action. Range is 4 meters, so it's a sphere. Duration is instant. The spell creates a mighty whirlwind around the mage. All untethered objects and creatures up to human size in the area of effect are hurled 2d4 meters away, suffering the same amount of bludgeoning damage and land prone. Each additional power level increases the range by 4 meters and inflicts another d4 damage. If you take a Bane on the roll, you can let one person in range be hurled to another spot of your choice within the spell's range. You decide whether that person takes damage, whether they land prone. I mean, obviously, I would say they land prone for sure. Firebird, level 3. Now look at this artwork down here. That is fantastic. Oh, I love that. All right. Firebird, rank 3, prereq, Fire Blast. Requirement is word, gesture. Casting time is an action. Range is 40 meters. Duration is instant. The spell sends a terrifying bird of fire from your hand or focus at the target. The attack can be dodged or parried at a long range or at a ranged attack. The Firebird inflicts 2d10 damage on a hit and sets fire to flammable objects. Each power level beyond the first increases the damage by T10 or creates another Firebird that hits another target within range. I would definitely say, let's do 2 Firebirds. Oh, man. All right. So now we've got one where we're creating we're mixing spells. So Firestorm. Rank 3, prereq is Fire Blast and Whirlwind. Requirement is a word/gesture. Casting time is an action. Range is 4 meters, so it's a sphere. Duration is instant. This spell creates a whirling storm of fire around you. All targets in range suffer 2d6 damage. Each additional power level increases the range by 4 meters and inflicts another d6 damage. So if your mage is just being overwhelmed with like goblins or something, and you have no way out, this would be a good way to go. Gnome. Rank 3, prereq Stonewall. Requirement, word, gesture, ingredient, stone, or soil. Casting time is a stretch. Range is 4 meters. Duration is a stretch. So the spell summons an earth elemental. The gnome takes a form of humanoid of gray and brown, sand, or clay, and counts as a monster in combat. It follows the creator's commands, free action, and acts independently with its own initiative, but must stay within sight of the mage. Interesting. So the gnome has a movement of 8, HP is 5 per power level. So it automatically gets 15 because it's at a rank 3. If you cast it upwards, so on and so forth. Armor is 4 because it's stone. Weapons, Fist of Stone. Hits automatically in melee, can be dodged or parried, but inflicts d6 damage per power level. Pillar. The gnome can cast Pillar at the same power level of its own using the mage's willpower. Dang, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Salamander. So, rank 3, prereq Fire Blast. Requirement, word, gesture, ingredient, so open fire. Casting time is a stretch. Range is 4 meters. Duration is a stretch. The spell summons a fire elemental. The salamander takes the form of a lizard of fire and counts as a monster in combat. It follows its creator's commands, free action, and can act independently on its own initiative, but must stay within the sight of the mage. So the salamander, we've got movement of 12, HP is 5 per level, armor is none, flaming grip hits automatically, it can be dodged, inflicts d6 per power level, armor has no effect. Fire orb. The salamander can cast Fire Blast at the same level of its own, using the mage's willpower. Resistance, piercing damage is halved. Immunity, it's immune to fire damage, including magical fire damage. Interesting. Y'all are probably gonna make fun of me, but Sif, I think. I don't know. Rank 3. Prereq is Whirlwind. Requirement, word, gesture. Casting time is a stretch. Range is 4 meters. Duration is a stretch. The spell summons a wind elemental. The Sif looks like a storm cloud in the shape of a bird. It counts as a monster in combat, follows its creator's commands free action, and can act independently on its own initiative, but must stay within sight of the mage. So the Simp, that makes sense because it's a storm cloud. It has a movement of 24, so that's fast. HP is 5 per power level, no armor. Weapons. Healing Winds hits automatically in melee combat. It can be dodged. The attack deals D4 or hurls the victim D4 meters per power level, inflicts the same amount of bludgeoning damage. Gust of Wind. The Sif can cast Gust of Wind at the same power level as its own, using the mage's willpower. Resistance, piercing damage is halved. Interesting. And the last one. Undying. Rank 3. Prereq is a tidal wave. Requirement, word, gesture, ingredient is a water. Casting time is a stretch. Range 4 meters. Duration is a stretch. The spell summons a water elemental. The Undying looks like a tidal wave whose crest is shaped like a woman composed entirely of water. It counts as a monster in combat, follows its creator's commands, free action, and can act independently with its own initiative but must stay within sight of the mage. Undying, movement of 12, 5 per power level. Armor is none. Weapons, Wet Embrace. Hits automatically melee combat, can be dodged, inflicts d6 per power level. Armor has no effect. Tidal Wave. The Undying can cast Tidal Wave at the same power level as its own, using the mage's willpower. Resistance. Piercing damage is halved. I mean, wow. I am really excited about Elementalism. I see a lot of great potential. I could see some really cool stuff with this. Wow. All right. Well, as always, let's do the thing. Like the video, comment for me. Comment which of these rank 3 spells do you like? Do you like Undying? Do you like Synth, Gnome, or Salamander? Which one speaks to you, and how could you use it potentially? These are cool. These are really cool. Next time, next episode, we are going to cover mentalism, and that will be part 5 of of the schools of magic, the magic within Dragonbane. So again, like, comment, share with everybody, share with anybody you know. Let's get the videos out there. So thank you all again for tuning in and listening to me ramble on about magic. Um, this is a lot of fun. It really is. The more we talk about Dragonbane, the more I get excited. So as always, my friends, live on and game on.